When I hear non-removable, to me, those are the people that stayed here. At one time when they tried to move all Indians over to White Earth.
Well, those are the people that stayed that, that didn't want to move to White Earth. They're the ones that stayed here and fought for their land.
Those people who actually stayed here at Mille and fought for what was truly ours, this part of the lake, this part of what is now known as our reservation. I think about how they stood up and said, no, we're not going to be moved out of here. This is where we belong.
This is our home.
We're here and we'll never go away.
You can't take the culture away, you can't take the people away, it's there.
We are here to stay and you cannot move us.
We call ourselves the non-removables, but are we? It's a phrase that we embrace, but in recent years, we have begun to see our younger generations slip away. Drugs, alcohol, violence is putting our entire community at risk.
This summer here we had 4 tragedies, and we didn't even have time to grieve and process the first one. We had another one come. And so they were just coming bang, 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 and we have a hard time processing that. When we lose a Mille Lacs band member, it's just not the relatives who have lost. We've all lost. Because it seems like, when in Mille Lacs, we're one big family. So when we lose one, we all lose.
My friend, Passion, I knew her since 07, 06, and we really knew each other, and it was hard. She really cared about people. She was really actually nice to people.
Right now we're sort of in a battle.
Just little kids nowadays are starting to drink, and that's not good at all. And little kids asking me to go get them some stuff,
I'm just worried about the drugs, that kids are using so many drugs and drinking too much alcohol.
Alcohol is the biggest issue. And drugs also, because there's easier access to drugs than there's the alcohol.
Well, I got mad because I knew the little kid. It's actually one of my little cousins that told me this. Asked me if I can get them a joint. And I got mad at them, and I just started telling them, I was like, you better not be doing this, you don't want me to tell your parents, and all this and that. And they basically said, oh, my bad, I'm sorry, I won't do it then.
They could love you, but in a different way, and they just hand you the alcohol, the drugs, and they buy it for you, and I think that's the biggest issue.
I sort of wish they haven't done it around me. It was my choice to do it, but it still affected me because or sort of I followed in their footsteps.
There's a lot of child neglect, child abuse, because the parents are so busy doing their thing that they're not really watching their kids. Their kids are turning out to do the same things themselves. It's really bad. It's really bad. I feel so bad about it. I think about it all the time because it affects every family. Nobody's immune.
It isn't a good idea to get mixed into this drug and alcohol use.
Everywhere we go, we are faced with situations that put us at risk, and it's happening everywhere, even in our own homes.
Seeing some of my older family members using, so then I thought it was okay for me to do it because I wanted to fit in with them.
There's so many older people that you're supposed to be looking up to that just hand it to you whenever you want it.
As I seen it, then I started doing it, and then as almost like when I started getting older, they started letting me do it.
If you're gonna give your child drugs and alcohol, they're probably gonna drop out of school. Then when they have children, they're just gonna think it's okay, you know. They're just gonna give their child alcohol, and so on and so on, and then pretty soon you got a bunch of drunk, dumb, high kids running around.
She said, "Grandma, can you bring me a dime?" And her grandma's like, "Yeah, I'll bring it over." And she comes and drops it off, and I was like, whoa, your grandma just gives you that?
I'd have to say shame on you. You should know better. You know, you are the adult, and start acting like an adult.
So what should we do with this grief we carry? How can we come together to fight for our very existence? How do we put a stop to these needless tragedies? We, as the youth of this community, refuse to slip away.
Don't give your kids drugs just because they want it. Be the adult and the role model in your family, and don't just hand them the alcohol and the drugs. If you love your kid, show it.
Get more involved with your children, you know. If you look around, you'll see that the kids are starting to drink and do drugs, you know. If you guys really cared about your children, you'll do something.
It's not good to be a friend to your kids. It's good to be more of a parent.
If all of us caretakers started helping our kids, maybe it would turn out to be a lot better. I know it would be.
Some adults just need to realize that it doesn't, nobody else can do it for them. Like, they'll have to put effort into making a change.
Right now we're in a survival mode, and I think we really need to take some harsh steps in dealing with people that do that, because they're doing some almost irreparable harm.
So who can we turn to? We thank the Creator for our elders, the ones who help raise us, who teach us, and remind us that there are other choices. Where would we be without them?
I don't think I could live without my family. I'm pretty close to my sons and my daughters and their kids, and it's just, you know, somebody gets mad at me, I get hurt. But, you know, I don't think I could live without my family.
My grandma was one that raised me, so I have to say she is. She's just a really good person.
My grandmother, Dorothy, she's a very spiritual person.
My grandma, Elaine, she was always there for me, and she knows how to deal with a bad situation, and she's positive with everyone.
She's taught me about ceremonies and the tradition.
I've had a lot of friends and a lot of family that I grew up with, so I've always been with somebody.
My great-grandmother was a really good influence on me. She took care of me, and she was sort of like a mom to me, and I have a lot of respect for her. She was the one that put me through treatment, and while I was in the treatment process, she had passed away, and that really hit me hard. In treatment, some say you have a spiritual awakening, and my grandmother's death was mine. It had opened my eyes, and I realized that was something I shouldn't be doing.
I think you're the ones that'll be taking care of me here in about 10, 15 years, and I'm depending on you a lot to do a good job with me.
We don't have to look far for the answers. They're right here with us. In our history, our ceremonies, and our traditions. This is what makes us strong as a people. It's what defines us as Anishinaabe. And it is what will protect us and keep us forever in this place.
have your language outlawed, and a lot of your traditions and culture, just totally outlawed. And didn't come back till about 1979. Freedom of Religion Act was passed again, and we were finally free to do our religion, but we did it anyway. That's just part of our way of life, the Ojibwe life, is trying to do the best we can.
We still have our ceremonial dances every spring and fall. We still have our grand medicine ceremonies here during the summer. So I think we're pretty strong in it yet.
There's a lot of grandparents out there that can speak the language, and their grandchildren are really good at the language. And, some kids don't have that, and that's why they would grow up to just speak English. So even if we had like the slightest bit of culture in as we grow up, that would help a lot.
I think we can have more traditional stuff around here. That way they can resist more.
Go and talk to somebody. Go to someone that you have a lot of respect for.
Our culture is a big part of us, and I know that even if we don't use it like every day, I know that it's always a part of us.
We, the people of Mille Lake, have weathered many difficult winters. We have suffered unimaginable losses, and yet we are still here. It is time to reclaim our Anishinaabe ways, to reach out to one another, and end these destructive cycles of abuse and violence. It is time to move forward with the changing season.
Springtime is coming, and it is a time for renewal. Let us stand up together and begin to heal as only the Anishinaabe can, as one community.
Our language, our ceremonies, and our traditions are waiting for us, as are our elders. It is time to heal. It is time to once again be whole.
We are the Mille band of Ojibwe, and we are non-removable.